Well, for 6 months since the March lockdown, sales across various sectors remained almost muted as consumers became cautious on their spending. But with the start of the festival season, automakers, retail hubs, garment and jewellery markets are seeing consumers stepping out of their homes. But will they buy is the question. In today's special edition that we're calling the Festival of Ideas, we speak to auto manufacturers, retail traders, as well as shoppers to check if there is in fact a surge in demand and if there is a visible, sustainable pickup. Let's start with the auto sector. Despite the pandemic, India's auto sector produced 3.15 lakh cars in September. That's 16% more than last year. At 22.4 lakh, two-wheeler production was 15% higher than last year. This is in anticipation of a robust festival season, which began on the 17th of October. Like every year, the market is full of new launches and festive offers. So what's the mood this time around? Parikshit Luthra finds out.
It's that time of the year when vehicle manufacturers go all out to woo the customer. New launches are timed with the festive season to create excitement in the market. Due to the growing demand for compact SUVs, there are several options to choose from, ranging from the Kia Sonet, Mahindra's new Thar, the MG Gloster and Toyota's Urban Cruiser. So what's driving festive demand this year?
Actually, we were planning to buy since last year, Diwali, but then there was news of BS6 coming in from April, so we waited. But then in March, a new story came along, Corona. So we had to wait another year. So now hoping for the best if we can buy this Diwali.
The time period, they were saying that we can deliver you in 5 to 6 weeks. So that's how I scheduled my delivery so that I could get it in Ratra especially. And I have the very specific requirement on 5th Ratra, the 21st.
Decision that impacted my purchase, obviously one was the easy availability of the car, because you know we've been locked down for the last 6 months and there was a huge pent-up demand. And then once when anyone decided to buy the car, once we started getting unlocked, there was just a rush to the showrooms.
Owing to the festive rush, vehicle manufacturers say they are finding it hard to keep up with the demand. Car manufacturing could go up from 3.1 lakh cars in September to 3.5 lakhs in October.
I would say so far so good. We have launched the Sonet and we had an excellent response for the Sonet from the consumers. We have got more than 50,000 bookings already. So if I compare the same period, the festival period of last year with this, so I would have, I think, received almost a 180% jump in the number of bookings. So I'm getting, I think, more than 1,700 bookings a day is what I'm getting.
Passenger vehicle, 100% yes. We'll be able to match the passenger vehicle segment retails. The demand is good. On the two-wheeler front, there is a bit of challenge, but we are expecting that the Navratri would be good. So maybe not the similar number as last year, but a bit tad lower. But overall, it will be better.
Despite the slow demand recovery in the two-wheeler segment, India's auto industry produced over 22 lakh two-wheelers in September. Here too, festive offers and low down payment options are part of the strategy to drive demand.
I think it's obvious. I think entry and deluxe would have the maximum number because people would prefer to have an independent way of commuting wherein they are a little more safe psychologically and medically also, because when you have your own transport, you're not coming in contact with much of the people.
While there is definitely a focus on entry-level two-wheelers, manufacturers like Honda are hoping that their new 350cc motorcycle will be an eye-turner this festive season.
Despite, there are the challenges of the liquidity in the market, so still the top variants are selling more. That's point number one. Repo rates are, very favorable for increasing the lending in the market. So there was an uptick of almost 4% for the customers who bought their two-wheeler on retail finance. We saw a jump of from 41% by end of August to 45%. So more people buying on retail finance. 95% plus of our network is already open. Now it is almost the same ratio in terms of contribution to Honda's business coming from the rural network or from the urban network.
Automobile companies are confident of a strong festive season, but there is also concern about what may happen post-Diwali. Companies are actually waiting for the fourth quarter to see if the demand is actually sustainable or not. But for the moment, the entire focus is on the festive season, and as they say, make hay while the sun shines. This is Parikshit Luthra.
Well, it's not just the auto sector that's showing signs of confidence. For Delhi's retailers, the resurgence in footfalls is proving to be a ray of sunshine. Timsy Jaipuria visited New Delhi, Sarojini Nagar and Lajpat Nagar markets. She says that while increased footfalls do not necessarily mean more spending, it is being seen as a good sign. And hope, as they say, springs eternal. Take a look.
As festival season embarks, the busy markets of Delhi NCR is seeing some return of customers. Come, let's explore some of these markets to see whether actually consumption is back or not.
दो हफ्ते पहले तो 20-25% लोगों का आना जाना था जो कोविड-19 से पहले था। फिर अभी जब ये फेस्टिवल का जो शुरू हुआ नवरात्रों से, तो इसमें 60-65-70% लोगों का आना जाना शुरू हो गया है।
Pandemic has changed the consumption pattern of people. Consumers are coming out slowly, but it is only essentials, be it the essential festival buying or what may be called as bare minimum to ensure that the basic requirements of the festival are met.
बहुत दिनों बाद शॉपिंग पे आई हूँ, लॉकडाउन के बाद ही आ रही हूँ। फर्स्ट टाइम फेस्टिवल की शॉपिंग के लिए आई हूँ और गिफ्ट वगैरह कुछ ऐसा खास नहीं है, किसी को देने के लिए नहीं।
फेस्टिवल शॉपिंग करने आई हूँ।
पहले की तरह शॉपिंग कर रहे हैं या कम शॉपिंग करी है इस बारी?
नहीं, पहले से कम करी है।
पहले से कम शॉपिंग क्यों करी?
ज़्यादा आना जाना भी नहीं हो रहा है, फिर फाइनेंशियल भी थोड़ा सा हो ही रखा है प्रॉब्लम सबको। But is this return of the consumer something which the shopkeepers expect to continue for long? Let's hear it out.
थोड़ा सा मार्केट ऊपर है, कस्टमर आर कमिंग एंड शॉपिंग कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे लोग इसलिए हमारे जो ट्रेडर्स हैं थोड़ी खुशी आई है उनके भी। 75% कस्टमर्स वापस आ गए हमारे, सेल हो रही है और वो खरीद रहे हैं सब कुछ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है हमारे यहाँ। ग्रॉसरी है, कपड़े हैं, सोना है।
खरीदारी क्या वापस आई है बाजारों में?
आ गई है जी, 50% आ गई। कस्टमर अब जो पहले से फ्लो बढ़ गया है उसका, कस्टमर मैरिज सीजन चल रहा है तो इसलिए कस्टमर का फ्लो ज़्यादा है।
कस्टमर का फ्लो मिड दिसंबर तक चलना चाहिए।
The return of the consumer has definitely got some cheer back to the busy markets in the festival season, but the business is far from being back to normal. The recent advisory by the Health Ministry asking people to keep away from the busy markets to avoid COVID cases might keep some shoppers away. However, slow and steady growth in the markets is giving some positive news to the shopkeepers and the traders. In New Delhi with cameraman Lakshman Singh, this is Timsy Jaipuria.
Well, people certainly thronging markets there, as you can see. Now, the jewellery business has not escaped the hit, and that has kept people from not really shelling out too much money. But Indian jewellers are hoping that things will start to look up soon. The festive season is here. The wedding season is around the corner. Jewellers are resorting to a slew of measures to try and get the customer to open up their purse strings. From adapting to digital channels for sales to at-home try-on services. Anu Sharma finds out whether these measures are helping.
The jewellery business in India thrives on wedding season and festivals. And this is exactly that time of the year when jewellers look to make bumper sales to cover year-long cost. Today we visit Dariba Kalan, the oldest jewellery market in the country, to give you a ground report on the current state of business.
मेरा तो वैसे भी इवेंट्स बेस काम है, तो इवेंट बेस तो काम है ही नहीं, बट ये है कि बस 20% काम समझ लो इस टाइम।
अभी पहले गोल्ड की प्राइसेस ऊपर नीचे होती गई, तो अभी क्या सिचुएशन है?
बेचने वाले ज़्यादा हैं, पर उनकी परसेंटेज ज़्यादा है खरीदने वालों से।
ऐसा क्यों है?
एक तो रेट जो है बहुत ज़्यादा फ्लैक्चुएट हो गए थे, 58 के करीब रेट पहुंच गया था गोल्ड का। फिर कुछ लोगों के पास पैसे भी नहीं थे अपने डेली नीड्स को सर्वाइव करने के लिए, तो बंदा और क्या करेगा, मतलब घर की चीज़ें ही बेचेगा, पैसा तो चाहिए है ना।
व्यापार तो 15-20% ही है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं है। जो व्यापार होना चाहिए वो व्यापार नहीं है। लोगों की सोच चेंज हो रही है, नज़रिया चेंज हो रहा है, लोगों का क्षमता नहीं रही बाइंग करने का लोगों का।
कब लगता है, कब तक आ पाएगी बाइंग?
मेरे हिसाब से 2-3 साल लगेंगे बेटा। पहले आदमी अपनी EMI पूरी करेगा, बच्चों का खर्चा पूरा करेगा, जब ज्वेलरी खरीदेगा। और मैं तो ज्वेलरी बॉक्सेस बेचने वाला हूँ, जब ज्वेलरी सेल होती तो डब्बा बिकेगा ना।
एक्चुअली बिज़नेस जो है थोड़ा सा नीचे आया है क्योंकि कोविड के टाइम में जो लॉकडाउन के दौरान जो प्राइस बढ़ गए गोल्ड और सिल्वर के, उसका बहुत डिसएडवांटेज रहा मार्केट के लिए। तो जो मार्केट की जो पावर ऑफ बाइंग थी लोगों की, वो बिल्कुल एकदम एक तरह रुक गई है। लोग ज्वेलरी अभी नहीं खरीद पा रहे, हालांकि जिसकी कैपेसिटी 100 ग्राम्स गोल्ड खरीदने की थी वो अपने आप को 40 ग्राम 50 ग्राम्स में ही सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है।
Business was low at the time of unlock when it started post COVID, because when the odd even started, people didn't know where to go, at what time to go. Then the market also didn't open for the regular hours. Even now, we are shutting at 6:30 or 6 when we are supposed to work till 8. So even the customers are confused if we're opening or not. So the business is increasing, but gradually. It's definitely better than July because people are now coming to our store. Earlier we were busy with the video calling and the try-at-home services.
So going forward, what sort of a model do you see for jewelry selling and buying?
I think we will have to wait and watch because e-commerce doesn't really work for jewelry as much right now. The acceptability is low. For low priced items it's fine, but for something like a necklace which is about 20-25 lakhs, that's not successful. A person would want to go and see more options and then buy.
Well, the 17th century street of Chandni Chowk has started witnessing the pre-COVID levels in terms of daily traffic going into thousands of people. But these numbers have not really translated into buyers for the jewelry market here at Dariba Kalan. Some jewelers believe that the recovery is still 2 to 3 years away because the purchasing power of the buyers has been severely hit. Other jewelers believe that the recovery will gradually but slowly be attained and the sparkle will soon come back for the jewelry market at here in Dariba Kalan. This is me, Anu Sharma, reporting for CNBC-TV18 with camera person Lakshman Singh.
Well, from the famous Dariba Kalan, we will head to Kanchipuram, the silks. Well, it's a well-known fact that one of the best indicators of festive sentiment is just how many customers end up shopping for clothes every Dussehra or Diwali. This year, an economy that is seeing a contraction has meant that for markets for Kanjivaram silk, a festive staple in South India, is seeing a sharp decline. Jude Sane drove down to the temple town and silk hub of Kanchipuram to find out how empty showrooms are a sign of worrying times for the business. Take a look.
The festive season has just about begun, and if you live in Chennai, a quick dash to Kanchipuram to buy Kanjivaram silk saris isn't unusual. But with dulling demand and a break in the supply chain thanks to COVID-19, empty showrooms are a telling sign of just how gravely silk sari sales have been impacted this year.
We used to average sales of around 2 lakh rupees per day, but today we are only accounting for about 2,000 rupees a day. We are hoping that things will improve going forward.
Our middle class customers are going to be affected the most, since they depend on daily businesses and salaries. For 4 months, there was no activity. For the last 2 months, lockdown measures have eased. But it's not enough to expect people to get back to buying saris. We've endured losses of between 60 to a little over 70% from March till date.
70% loss.
While COVID-19 has made wallets smaller, the bigger problem has to do with the near washout of the wedding season. On an average, big weddings see families shop for saris for the entire bridal party. This year around, things are a tad different. With most wedding halls shut and marriages being formalized in temples, big ticket spending has come to a halt in this segment, thereby crucially impacting sales.
Total or maximum 70% out, sir. Just
Our business is down 70%. Customers who used to buy 20 to 30 saris in one go are only buying a sari or two. For weddings, people usually bought 50 saris as gifts, but thanks to COVID, they are cutting corners and buying 2 to 3 saris.
They are making எல்லாம் சின்னது பண்ணி 2 சால 3 சாலயே வந்து மேரேஜ் முடிச்சிடுறாங்க.
We are expecting sluggish sales till Diwali and Pongal, but there is a possibility of consumptions picking up once the festivals are done. We have not halted production and have set targets keeping a recovery in mind. There is potential for business to go from 20% to about 50% of pre-corona revenues in the next 2 months.
20-50 வரது வாய்ப்பு நல்லா இருக்கு.
Retailers here are not expecting either the Diwali or the Puja festivities to draw in any noticeable spike in sales. But right about now, even a small recovery in sentiment is good news for the silk hub. In Kanchipuram, this is Jude Sanath.
Well, from Kanchipuram, let's head now to the sweets industry in Kolkata, which has also been badly hit by COVID. Many sweet shops in Kolkata have seen a 70% drop in footfalls because of the lockdown measures. But as we enter the festive season, shopkeepers are hoping for a pickup in demand. Debanjana Majumdar and Arundhati Ramanan get us a ground report on how festive sentiment is unfolding in the city.
When you think Kolkata, it's highly likely you first think of sweets. Rasagullas, Mishti Dois, Kheer Kadams, Chum Chums, Pantuas, Sandesh, the list is endless. This is a multi-crore rupee industry, most of it unorganized, and the pandemic has left many of them with bitter memories.
With Dussehra around the corner, the demand for sweets increases tenfold. But the sweet shops are facing the brunt of coronavirus this festive season. They are seeing a 30% lesser footfall than the usual. But the shop owners are hopeful that the demand can pick up.
The business was 30% only, means 70% down during the lockdown period and a little bit later. But now market is coming up and it has become like 50 to 60% now. We expect around 80 to 85% during this festive season, but we are not expecting 100% sales compared to the last year.
For a few of these sweet shops, going online has helped. Online orders have picked up. It's not that many of them have their own websites. Sweet shops have tied up with popular food delivery apps to keep the sales going. Many have also introduced their own home delivery services.
Since the lockdown, online orders have skyrocketed. It has become like not 10 folds, I would say 20 folds. And we have sufficiently provided, made the online platforms such that we can serve them well. We have made our own bikers group that bikers are coming to us and then getting the product to your house. And so this home delivery system we have started in this lockdown only. That is under our flagship. The third parties are also there like Swiggy, Zomato, and these are also there.
Of course, any sales, whether physical or virtual, follow safety and hygiene protocols like sanitized packaging, social distancing, and even increased automation in the production and packaging process.
We have introduced machineries, different kinds of machineries we have got from Japan, Denmark, Germany. So the production is 75% of the production is automized. So minimum hand touch is there in our products.
You were in our shop, you have seen?
Yes, sir.
The sanitizer was kept in the table.
Yes, sir.
And if there is a rush, we request the people just to keep safe distance. One thing we are doing, if there is no mask, somebody is free of mask, then we tell them we cannot sell.
On their part, customers are also trying to embrace the new normal when they step out to satisfy their sweet tooth.
You see the environment outside, I mean, people are going out. It's just that the only thing you can do is take precautions. I mean, there is nothing else you can do. I mean, rather than buying it online, I'm comfortable, coming here and getting it myself.
Well, cautious optimism, that pretty much sums up the mood that we've picked up on across markets from Delhi to Kanchipuram. Here's hoping that we do see a good, strong festival season. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of the Festival of Ideas. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back shortly with a lot more.